Tonight, I'm talking to Vic Reeves, one half of probably the most famous comedy duo in Britain. Now, he normally only agrees to do interviews with his partner, Bob Mortimer, but tonight, he's talking to me one-to-one.
Are we on?
We're on.
Go on then.
You are a light entertainer. What is a light entertainer?
Well, someone who weighs under 10 stone. I don't know.
That's how you describe yourself, though.
Well, no, I did initially. But when I first started, I was only going to do one night, and I called myself Britain's top light entertainer. But it was irony, right. And from then on, you know, it's the sort of thing in show business. You say something once, and it's stuck with you for the rest of your life.
What do you mean you're only going to do one night?
Well, a friend of mine had a comedy night, and he was running in a pub, and he said, I'm packing it in, do you want to take over? So I said, yeah, well, I'll do one night, and I didn't have a clue about who to put on. I didn't know any comedians, so I thought I'd do it myself.
Yeah, tell me about the clothes. I'm always intrigued by your clothes.
Well, yeah, I started off more flamboyant, more dandy-esque.
You're a sort of white suit man.
Well, I started off with a white suit, and then I moved through velvets and pantaloons and ruffs and things like that.
Where did that come from? The idea.
I think I don't know. I think at that period I was quite interested in the 18th century. I get influenced by centuries and like historical periods. You know, doing a comedy show, looking like little Lord Fauntleroy, was quite appealed at the time.
When you were wee.
Yeah.
Did you do the same sort of things you do now? Because sometimes it just seems like you're getting paid for being a wee boy.
Well, yes, and that's exactly what we do, really, I suppose. You know, I always thought when I was a child, I used to enjoy going into sweet shops and speaking in peculiar voices and knocking on people's doors and asking for people who clearly didn't live there. Right. And I used to remember saying to my friends when I was about 12, it'd be great when we're 40, because we can do that and have more of an air of authority and get away with it. And that's exactly what happened. I'm
sort of nervous about saying this, but I also read that you used to castrate pigs. That was one of your first jobs. Is that true? Yes,
that is perfect. It was on the day that Princess Anne got married to Mark Phillips, and me and my mate went down to this farm and asked him if there was any work, and the farmer said he gave me a pig, which I held whilst he castrated it. And that was my job, really, sort of, you know, holding the pigs whilst they chopped the balls off and popped them in a pot, and they were then taken to the kitchen and prepared in a soup.
Well, you've got pigs now, of course, everybody writes about that too. Everybody always says he's a pig farmer.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, if you live in the country, you're automatically a farmer.
Yeah.
But, no, you know, I've got 2 pigs.
Why do you live in the country? Because, again, with this sort of dandyish thing and the kind of humour you have, you strike me as a very urban animal.
No, not in the slightest. I was brought up in the country, and I like it. I'm not really happy in the city. I don't go out particularly much at night.
Right.
And I like the country.
So you keep pigs? Do you keep anything else?
No, that's about it.
No other livestock?
I had 2 dogs, but I shot them.
Why?
I was getting on my nerves.
Is that true?
No, I poisoned them.
How did you get from having a weekend job of chopping off pigs and necessaries to being in a pub in Deptford with a...
Oh, that was a long time before that. I mean, then I went to work I did an apprenticeship for 5 years as an engineer in Newton Aycliffe in Durham, and learned how to be an engineer, which was really quite dull, and then fled to London.
5 years of dullness is quite a long time, though.
Yeah, it's endless. Well, I don't know, I just sort of thought, you know, I was looking around, looking at all the people working in that factory, and I thought, I can't spend the rest of my life doing this.
When you eventually then got to performing, you explained how you did it. You were doing this one night, and then suddenly it was more than one night because people enjoyed it. When you were sort of sellotaping planks of wood to your feet and putting on the Brian Ferry masks and doing Taffy Laffy, did you think it's only a matter of time to the BAFTA?
No, I've never thought of it in that way, but it was just entertainment for our own self, you know, our own sakes, really. It was I've never been the sort of one of those people who think I want to be a star. I want to like be a big celebrity. We weren't really bothered about getting TV producers saying, "I'll come down and have a look at this," because it was crap basically.
They did. I mean, what was that like when people like Jonathan Ross started kind of pitching up in Deptford and saying, and obviously...
Well, we thought it was hilarious because we were always aware of how ridiculous our acts were, and we thought, if they think it's worth putting on TV, then, we'll have a go at it. And I thought, we'll do one series. And I thought, I'll be on my deathbed and talking to my grandchildren. So, I was on TV once I did a series. But, they wanted to do it, so we thought, we'll have a crack at it. And then, after we'd done the first one, because Bob was still working, he was still a solicitor. He kept it on because he didn't think it was going to do more than one series. And after that, we got offered another one, so he eventually packed his job in. But, we did that first series without thinking that it was going to go any further.
He came to see you. One of his friends brought Bob along to see you.
Yeah.
Instantly, when you met him, did you instantly strike up a rapport?
Yeah, I think we did. That night, I think the first night I met him, we were talking about what crap we could put on next week.
And how come... that must have been quite strange to meet somebody out of the blue like that who understood exactly what it was you were on about.
Well, it is, yeah, but, you meet people and you instantly hit it off with them. And, I think we clicked, straight away.
Your props are very funny. You don't... How do you... do you go to somebody who's good at props and they tell you what's possible, or do you decide on a prop and then see if they can do it?
Well, I do little drawings. So if you saw Bob's drawing, nothing would get built because he can't draw a thing. So I'll do these little drawings and send them in, and it's always it's great. The day we turn up at the studio to find these things that have been made from these sketches, and they will make them to the best of their abilities, and they're genuinely excellent.
What was the world's biggest diamond with a puppy in the middle of it?
Well, that was exactly what it was. The world's biggest diamond with a puppy inside it, which actually injured Bob. It really did. I think it hit him flat on the face and knocked him out.
It really did?
I think he was quite severely injured by that. And he was injured another time when we were filming in... it was the Reeves and Mortimer factory, and there was loads of things. I turned on this wind machine and loads of things flying through that was supposed to fly past him. But he got hit in the face by a huge stuffed dog, and his nose started bleeding and everything. He tends to get hit in the face by things.
You never get injured?
Yeah, I've been injured. When we used to do the live thing, I had to set my hand on fire. I lacerated myself, punctured my chest. All sorts of things.
It's not funny, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, it's quite rude. Do you ever do it to kind of test the prop people? I'll do this drawing, they'll never be able to make this. Yeah,
and we do that, but they always come up with it.
Right.
Which is great, because I think they think I can't make this. But they do.
And does he kind of keep you in line? It strikes me that you might be the one who would sort of veer off a bit, and he might be a bit more studious. Is that the way it is?
No, we're both pretty much the same, really. We haul ourselves back in when we start going too far. We wrote yesterday. We've been writing for a new Smello series, and we wrote this. It's like one of those documentaries they have which are very popular at the moment, like The Ship, and all that. So we've written one based around a club, and I'm the proprietor who's very poncy and self-assured. And yesterday we wrote his brother, who was the co-owner, he'd been taken away when he was 7 years old to Hong Kong, and came back, but he's his brother, but he's got a Chinese accent. And we both went along writing quite a lot of scripts yesterday with him with his Chinese accent. So we must get this act on it. But then we get to this morning, we're thinking that's probably not the right way to go, really, is it? We've got to do it, because this is going to be quite a long sketch that's going to go on every week. So do we really want somebody who's got a Chinese accent on it every week? So we pull ourselves back.
How do you take to being a very famous person?
I don't like it, to be honest. I like to be anonymous, which I know is fairly impossible.
Did you decide that after you became famous? I mean, did you think before you were famous, I'd like to be...
No, I mean, when you're sort of like on the cusp, it's quite appealing. You sort of think, oh, it's great, you know, like people are sort of asking me for an autograph and that. And then, I think the more you get into it, the more you dislike it. Some people fall very easily into it, you know, some people like that, you know, I like, you know, people who've got premieres and things like that, but I'm not really that keen on that area.
Right. What's the worst thing about it?
What, being famous?
Yeah.
Well, I like staring at people, you know, and, you know, if I'm sitting in a town centre on a bench, I like looking at people, but, you know, you find that they're all looking at you. So you can't examine people as closely. That's one thing. I mean, you know, you're always on view.
I've got you on your own today, which is quite unusual, because all the interviews that I see, certainly the press interviews, the pictures of you and Bob together. Why is it important to do things together?
What, me and Bob? Well, because we are Reeves and Mortimer, I think. And I'd always strive for us both to do everything. But
then French and Saunders are French and Saunders, but they don't.
No, it's true. You know, the reason why we started doing adverts on our own, for instance, is because it costs twice as much to pay us. But I like us to do things. I think we're good at, when we get interviewed together, we back each other up as well. Right. You probably wouldn't get an interview like this if it was me and him, because we would egg each other on in a very schoolboyish way.
Would you do it if he said to you one day, "That's it, Jim, I am chucking it, I have had enough"? Would you carry on? Yeah.
I might not do the same sort of thing. I quite fancy, you know, I'll do a travel show or something like that.
You don't want to do that?
Do you reckon?
I've done it, you don't want to do that.
Is it awful? I won't do that then.
A wildlife show, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
You in shorts?
Or, yeah, what?
To see in a kind of safari suit arrangement.
No, tight shorts.
Not necessarily tight, no. A beige short. I was thinking of a beige short.
Wildlife and swimming trunks.
Yeah.
A beige short, yeah. No, you know, something like that. But I don't think I'd just pack in. I mean, I might just do painting. I'm doing a book of paintings at the moment.
You're doing a book on other people's paintings, or your own art?
On my own, yeah.
Are you?
Well, I'm just sort of like collecting them now and doing some more. It's going to be like paintings with bits of dialogue around them.
Right.
So, you know, maybe something like that. What's
your favourite medium?
What, to paint in?
Yeah, like acrylics or...
well, at the moment, I like oils really mainly, but I can't be bothered waiting for them to dry, so I use acrylics. And I've just started messing about with gold leaf. But, you know, I'll use anything.
Did you go to art school?
Yeah.
Did you complete the courses at art school, or did you leave?
No, I left after. I started making pop videos.
Were you in a Shakin' Stevens video?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I got offered 10 quid to do it.
Which one?
Well, it was my first agent, Malcolm Hardy. And he said, he rang me up and said, because that's how he speaks. And I deciphered that as, would you do this Shakin' Stevens video for 10 quid? So I went to Leicester Square and danced with Shakin' Stevens. Very exciting. Then went to the pub with my 10 quid.
Look what happened to you, and where's Shaky now, I wonder?
I don't know, but I've heard a rumour that his brother is well into his 90s. But, you know, that might be just some rumour.
You use wigs a lot in your comedy.
Yeah.
The Mulligan and O'Hare wig was a particular favourite of mine.
Love a wig. Facial hair, you know, wigs and facial hair and specs, like, you can't beat it. I think, you know, most of our characters do have facial hair and specs and wigs. But no, they're great. I've always been a fan of wigs. I used to go and collect them from Oxfams, you know, when I was a youth. It's because they look funny, don't they? You know, I saw a bloke in Tenterden the other day, and he had a ginger toupee, but he had what do you call it, the horseshoe of hair around here.
The My Little Pony thing that flops down. Like
no, it was just that he had hair around that. That was it. But he put this toupee on here, and you could just see like a half moon of flesh there. And it's, but you know, I said I don't, you know, I'm going to put down people who wear wigs, but they're always funny. You can't beat him, you know, he might as well. It's just like, he's just holding a flag up saying, I've got no hair.
Do you ever find yourself laughing out loud in public at things like that? Can you be impolite?
What, barking with
Or are
laughter?
they little secret laughs? I mean, do you see, if you're standing behind
No,
somebody...
I
like
do, yeah. I quite often get caught out laughing. But it's always, you know, it's the sad things that you see people do, you know, like somebody gets the cardigan caught on a shopping trolley or something. But I mean, we all laugh at things like that, but it's you're allowed to admit it, isn't it? But you know, there is a lot of things, you know, when you see people on stage walking with this peculiar walk, you're allowed to laugh at them, but if you see a cripple walking, you know, you're not allowed, are you?
Yes.
It's the same thing. That's what we're laughing at. We're not allowed to laugh at cripples, but we are allowed to laugh at somebody pretending to be, you know, some of the stupid walk.
Do your family think you're funny? Do they laugh?
I don't know, like, you know, my mum will ring up and say, oh, your advert was on. But she won't ring up after a show and say, oh, I really enjoyed that show. So I'm not convinced that she really gets what's going on.
Does that bother you, or is it not?
Not really, no, I don't think she's ever.
Because a lot of people want their parents to kind of, they want that sort of approval.
Well, she's very proud of me, but
Right.
I think, you know, probably more for doing adverts. Or, you know, face on the front of some magazine.
The adverts you do are good. Do you write the adverts you do?
Well, but it depends which ones.
Well, like the one you did, that one, I can't remember. Well, this is not very good. Obviously, it wasn't a good advert because I can't remember what it's for. But it made me laugh. The thing you said with a flat underside. What was that?
Oh, that was Boost, yeah.
Did you write that?
I wrote that. They used that for ages afterwards. They said we haven't got anything we can say, you know, like it's crispy and crunchy and never so munchy, or something, you know. So we need something like that. And I said, what about slightly rippled with a flat underside? Because that's basically what it is. And then they used it. Said, oh yeah. I said, well, it was just, you know, I didn't mean that you had to accept that suggestion.
You're very apolitical in your humour, which is intriguing given the environment that you started doing your comedy in. I mean, it was at a time when Ben Elton and all those kind of people were around ranting against the Tory government, and you really couldn't be a comedian without having some sort of reference to dole cues.
Well, we were getting away from all that because we found it very tedious.
Yeah.
And I didn't, you know, like going to, if you go to comedy clubs and someone says something which was like pro-Labour and everyone goes, hey! And I always thought, it's, you know, buttering your own bread, really, isn't it? It's like, hey, come and join me, I'm on your side. And I thought, it's not really entertainment. It didn't really make... I think it should be, you take people away from, you know, it's not invite the audience into your world, almost. They're with you, but they're not quite there. I'm not explaining that very well, am I?
No, you want people to work to kind of have to get it.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of, like, come and join my club. And,
You're the antithesis of that. I mean, you continually make it hard, and just when people are beginning to think they get it, then you change all the rules suddenly.
Yeah.
Quite an awkward thing to do.
Yeah, but, you know, I don't think it should be that easy for people.
No, but you know, most people want people to like them, don't
Yeah.
they? And they want to make it easy for people to like them. And you seem to be the antithesis of that. You really, you want to make it difficult for people to know who you are and even to get the joke.
Yes, I think you're quite right there. And I don't know why. But, I mean, the jokes are pretty obvious, but I don't like to make it too easy. I just think it's stretching imagination a bit, you know, you should constantly be trying to find new ways of presenting something.
But it's interesting that you have the nerve to do it in front of people. I mean, for example, my sister makes me laugh more than anybody else I'm ever going to meet. And my sister's been making me laugh since I can remember our first joke, and I was 5, and I remember thinking, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard. And she can still do it. I would never have the nerve with my sister to say, what we'll do is, we'll get this series on BBC Two, and all these other people will laugh. But where does your courage come from with that?
I don't know, once you start, you know, it's like snowballing, you know, once you start, you just continue with doing what you do. I don't even think about it.
Right.
It's just, we think, right, we're going to... I suppose it's where it comes from, you know, the gags and stuff like that, you know. I've got notebooks at home full of gags that I just write down as they come to me, and we throw them in.
Are the BBC ever trying to tempt you on to the mainstream BBC One?
Yeah.
You could be a big hit, boys, at 7:30 on Saturday evening.
Yeah, but I'm not sure whether that's the right thing to do or not.
Why?
Because it's, I'm quite happy where we are, you know, being sort of like fairly high in the tree on BBC Two. And I think if we move there, we might even force ourselves to be a bit less adventurous.
Do you want to make movies?
Yeah, it'd be nice. We keep getting sent scripts, but we haven't found any that we really like, so it would mean that we'd have to write one ourselves. We have written, quite a decent one, which we'd like to do, but it's when you do it, this year's taken up, next year's probably going to be full, so I don't know when. Well, people have said to us, do it now, because it's your last chance, then, people will go off you.
Oh, really? People have said that. That's quite a cruel thing to say.
I know.
Would you go to America to make your movie?
I'd be tempted to say yes, because I'm not that enamoured by the British film industry. I don't think the British have come up with any decent films recently.
You weren't a full Monty fan then?
I think, it's all right. I think it's just, you could stick it on Channel 4 one evening. I don't think it's as great as, I think it's been turned into something which is a lot more than it actually is, because it's a British film. If it was made in America, it'd be, you'd probably pass it by quite, wouldn't be as great. Do you like it?
I did quite like it, yeah.
I liked it, but I didn't think it was fantastic. I didn't think it was great as people make out.
You're a dad now. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I love it. It's Alice and Louis. Oh, they're great fun. I recommend it.
What do you like about it?
I don't know, it's like having your best mates there, but they're even closer than being best mates. I don't know, it's a very difficult question, that, isn't it? It's your family, it's your flesh and blood there that I get as much from them as I do from, it's like I could teach them something and then they can teach me something.
Because the thing about children with the fancy world is they're completely unabashed about their fancy world. They just do it, and the lines are so blurred.
Oh, well, I get told off by Alice. She's 5, but she tells me off for being stupid, and that's because you're not talking that stupid voice. Or behave yourself in Tesco's.
So you embarrass her?
Yeah, constantly. But she's a very good impressionist, and she's a bit of a comedian, but she is a lot more serious than me. She will tell me off.
Do you think she'll follow you into the entertainment biz?
I don't know. You hear people saying, "Oh God, I hope she doesn't." But it wouldn't bother me. She can do what she wants.
Why did you stop doing shooting stars? Or was it the kind of formulaic nature of it?
Well, we said we might do another one. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. We say it's the David Bowie syndrome, isn't it? It's my last tour till the next one. But I don't know, we might do another one. We stopped for because we wanted to go back to our proper job and do, a new Smell Of, which we're writing now, so we just had to say, no, we're not going to do any more shooting stars, even though we might do some more.
Right.
But as long as the BBC think that
right.
We might do some more.
And what you're in rehearsal for something just now?
Yeah, that's a game show called Families at War, which we've written for the BBC.
And what is it? What's the basis of it?
Well, it's 2 families and with skills. What we try to do is not like a talent show. They've got to have skills which are interesting, but not particularly a sort of show-busy skill. Like one of them's she can take a drip out of somebody's arm without taking their pyjama top off. And we've got a bloke from Middlesbrough who's a ballet dancer, but it's like we set each other against it. So like, I've got one family and Bob's got the other, so I say, right, I'm going to put my woman who can take the drip out against your ballet dancer, so
they don't match equal skills.
And she might get more points than him doing what you would think initially would be the better act.
Right.
And then it's just like a challenge between them, and then we get them to do other chatting. Like if we've got a bloke who can stuff sausages, we get the ballet dancer to do that. you know, get them to do the other teams.
All right, so it's a kind of
challenges.
generation games.
Well, it is, yeah.
What's the best thing about what you do? What do you enjoy most about it?
Oh, it's a fantastic job. I couldn't have a better job. It's just like, you know, you get paid well for doing something that you really like, and it's, you know, a job that can make you laugh every day.
Vic Reeves, thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, well, that's pleasant.